Morning. Right, been saying all the time I'm going to do something on this and haven't. So today I'm pre-facelift XF. Now, do you know it's pre-facelift? Frog-eyed lights. Some people really like, some people really don't. I do, which I'll explain in a minute. But that's the difference between pre-facelift and a facelift. So 2011 below. So let's do the normal bits. So is this keyless? No, it isn't. Why did I purposely buy keyless? Why did I purposely not buy keyless? I'll tell you in a minute. So keep pressing it. In. Oh, just gonna get my phone out of my pocket, which is in my hand. Right, so screens come up. So it's Jaguar, and that beats. It's meant to be a heartbeat, apparently. So the party piece is, so put my foot on the brake, start the car, all your vents open, thingy drop down, says the time. I have mine on average fuel. I can highly recommend an Alexa, whatever car you've got. Just shout back, so I've just said the name. Whatever car you have, I can highly recommend have one of those. So it's like all your music things. So CD, leather, blah blah blah. Front and rear sensors. So let me just get the thing out of there, because obviously I need to drive in a minute. So I'll grab that and we're going to go old school. We're going to put you on there in a minute. Yes, it is push button glove box. You're actually helping me this morning because I've got stuff on that I could do with my mind. So we're going to talk about Jaguars, we're going to talk about XF, we're going to talk about Jaguars. This is a bit dated, however I really like it. The navigation, latest disc for the pre-facelift, because it's a disc in the boot, goes up to 2020. It's very simplistic, I find it very easy. I've had the car now about 12 months and yeah, it's just easy to use. The rest of it is just normal stuff. Audio settings, climate, phone. You can play about with a few settings like global open or global close. You can switch on and off. There's quite a few bits and bobs. What is interesting, that's since I've had the car, so I've done nearly 6,000 miles. If you notice, my average speed is only 34 miles an hour, so 39 miles to the gallon when my average speed is only 34. You can tell I've been stationary a lot. Yesterday going into work, for instance, 47 miles to the gallon on a 16-mile trip, something like that. So let's get rid of that, leave that as it is. Phone's not connected because I'm speaking to you on it. I'm going to put you up there. You're in. I'm going to put you right up there actually. How's that? Yeah? So, hopefully you can hear me. You're right in the middle, looking down a very big bonnet. Hang on, I forgot something. Come back. No, come back. Come back a minute. There you are. Right, the dialy job. You saw it raise and all the rest of it. I don't know if I like it. After 12 months of living with it, I don't know if I like it. Put it into drive, you've got things beeping because you've got front and rear sensors. As I say that, I'm not sure. So that's because I'm so close to the wall. Right, you go back. Are you in the middle? Are you in the middle? Are you happy there? Good. Right. So, why did I buy an XF? So I bought an XF because I've had quite a few Jags over the years, so bear with me. History first. A minute, promise. So, Jaguars. I think I was about mid-20s, had a real big Jaguar itch, but I couldn't scratch until I bought one. So I bought, was it an L reg? An M reg? Can't remember. It was, the model's called an XJ40. So you're looking at, it was an early 90s model, 4 litre Sovereign, and it was lovely. Look at this traffic. I mean, it was lovely. It wasn't great on fuel. It was a 3-speed auto. And yeah, fuel on it was, I mean, ridiculous. So after that, another XJ40. I think it was on an M plate, so what's that, 94, 95? That was a 3.2 gold model, which is one of the last of the XJ40s before they turned into the X300s. And they went into the X300s at about N reg, which was still basically an XJ40 underneath. These sub-models are the models of XJ. All the XJs have like a sub-model. So starting out as, I can only take you back as far as about the 3 series, XJ3 series, which is late 70s. I can't take you any further back than that, I'm sorry. So each model has a sub-model. So 2 XJ40s, then I think I was sensible and bought some sensible cars, and then about 2010, what was the latest shape of XJ6 was the aluminium body ones called the X350. They ran from 2003 to 2010. So we had a 2003 one of those, 3 litre petrol. I gassed that in the end, with an LPG conversion on that. And I had that for a while. I had that for about 6 years, roughly. It was lovely. It was a great car, but I'll tell you what, there wasn't very often that there wasn't something wrong with it. I felt that they were very, very, very brittle. As quick as I'd had it in the garage or had messed about, there was something else that went. So it was a bit of a love affair with that. I was quite obsessed with it, but it was to the point of, I think after 5 or 6 years, I was doing nights. Came home from nights 7:15 in the morning, been working all night, went to lock it, and you know what, it wouldn't lock. And I literally was like, right, that's it, I've had enough, and I'm selling it, and I sold it. So a couple of cars later, the Audi A6, which everyone's seen, which I did love, Audi A6 C6, 3 litre V6 diesel Quattro. I had that for 6 years. And then I had the Jaguar itch again, and I think with rose tinted spectacles, thinking, you know, they're nice to drive, just a really great car, but I can't be minded with the hassle that can sometimes come from Jaguar ownership. If you say some of the bigger marquees, like I mean bigger marquees, like proper marquees, like Rolls Royce, Bentley, Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, anything that's got that part on it, you paid, everyone knows you paid double, triple the price. So the Range Rover in front, obviously all JLR, or I think you're still paying a little bit more, you're still paying a slightly more special if you want someone to look at it, because the amount of stuff that computer controlled now, you know, this car's not even got a dipstick. It hasn't got a dipstick. Why has it not got a dipstick? Electronically controlled. Ridiculous. So I went and test drove. I was a bit poorly at the time, so I was trying to actually make myself feel better. So I shouldn't have done it really, but I went and test drove an XJ6, one of the newer shapes, the 2010. I really liked it. As I say, the Audi needed to go. I didn't really have much choice, so I was thinking, yeah, let's buy an XJ6. Started reading some of the stories, and goodness me, I quite like the 3-litre diesel. However, the high mileage they're all talking about, I reckon there's a hidden flaw which is meant to be there from JLR of manifolds cracking, because the manifold's plastic. So just my opinion, I reckon at 100,000 miles they are built to fail. 100,000 miles, your plastic manifolds crack and you're changing 2 manifolds. So it was a high mileage XJ, or I started looking at XFs, liked them, and I could get a decent mileage pre-facelift XJ or a decent mileage facelift XJ. So I started reading through. So the reason why I bought this is it had done 35,000 miles, full history. I thought I was negating the risk as much as I could, and to be fair, touch wood, it's been great. So pre-facelift and facelift. Why did I buy a pre-facelift? So the manifolds, so I'm talking about a 3-litre diesel pre-facelift to a 3-litre diesel facelift. So I like the look of the pre-facelift. Jags to me, previous Jags obviously, especially XJs, they have 2 separate front lights, and that to me is kind of the look of Jaguar, the 2 front lights. So the facelift lights obviously are a lot more modern, which some people may prefer. I prefer the old stuff and quite like the separate lights. So even though the frog-eyed pre-facelift lights are not separate, they sort of are separate. So look for the pre-facelift was one for me. Next thing, start reading some of the horror stories on the facelift. So I shall start you off with a list. Most of the facelifts are keyless entry because of all the Range Rovers being nicked. JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, when I say JLR, what is this guy doing? It's a 50, I'm dead on 50. Are we going to have to move? Are we going to move? Are we going to stay? No, let's stay where we are. So, JLR. So, loads of people are robbing Range Rovers. I'm not going into that story because that's a video on its own. Loads of people are robbing Range Rovers. The insurance companies get to the point in London they're not even insuring Range Rovers. JLR keyless, I think, get tarred all with the same brush. So some of the insurance for some of the keyless XJs and XFs are not good. So I think, again, risk if you get in not keyless, and this is keyless entry, hopefully should help with the insurance. So I wanted something that wasn't keyless entry. Help with the insurance. So most of your facelifts are keyless. Second thing, known faults. So this is a really stupid one. So the fluid reservoir for the washers, yeah, how stupid is this? Loads of people put on the forums, my washers aren't working. The washers tank cracks, which is fine, obviously no one's really asked about that, you can just put a new washer tank on it. The problem is, I think it's that next to the bulkhead, below it is one of the ECUs, and when that gets wet, cars have been literally not able to repair due to the cost because of these washer bottles cracking and leaking and going all over the electrics. And the pre-facelifts have not had this issue. Next one, sticky buttons. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Facelift, can't tell you what year it is, but facelift, sticky buttons. They get to a certain age and all the buttons go sticky. Now, when I showed you most of mine are silver buttons, they changed them over to black and the quality wasn't as good, and some of them, like that thing, did anyone see the Wheeler Dealers episode where I think it was a Fiat or something Italian where the buttons go sticky? So yeah, same thing with this, so sticky buttons, and people prefer the more quality silver metal buttons. Yeah. Next thing, and this again unbelievable, so battery. Okay, so on a pre-facelift, if the battery goes flat or you need to change the battery, you change the battery. On the facelift there is a whole battery procedure. So if you want to change the battery, you have to have done this half-an-hour procedure where the keys can't be in close proximity to the car, and do this full procedure, or else people there's loads of forums, you know what Facebook's like, and people are having batteries changed, flat batteries, and literally like that the car won't lock, the car won't start. So facelift, something to do with the battery wise, and if you change the battery or the battery goes flat, you are in a lot of trouble. The cars are sometimes bricked and end up having to go to the dealers. Ridiculous. This is over a battery, something where you have to go into the SSD. So basically on the pre-facelift it isn't an issue. So what's that? Washers, battery, keyless, for me look. So yeah, so for me, I wanted a low mileage car, and I ended up then talking myself into a pre-facelift rather than a facelift. Lots of people have got facelifts. Engine wise, I'm not sure on the pre-facelift because they did the 2.7, which was the S-Type. Funny enough, an XF chassis is an S-Type chassis. So yeah, so the 2.7, I quite like the 2.7 engine. It's not as economical as the 3, which sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But yeah, I like the 2.7. I know they have injector issues, but I like the 2.7. So the pre-facelift was the 3 litre. I know when you start getting into the facelift, you start getting into the 2.2 diesel, and then later the 2 litre diesel. I don't know what he's doing. I'm going over it. So the 2.2 a lot of people like. I think it's a little bit more agricultural. There's a day of that motorway. So yeah, I think it's a lot more agricultural, as in it's not exactly. They're not going to let me over. Sorry, I had to negotiate traffic. So I don't really like the 2.2. I don't think they're any better in miles per gallon. I don't think they're any better to live with, but they are not as smooth. Obviously, I know you've got the inlet manifold issued on the 3, but yeah, if it was a 2.2 one of these, I wouldn't have one. This is just my personal opinion. I know loads of people have got the 2.2s. Don't even get me started on the 2 litre. No, it's a definite no. Jags have big lumps in them. It's the whole point of the driving experience, is to have a nice big lump under the bonnet. I think it's great now that we don't have to have the petrol lump under the bonnet, which obviously I've had in previous Jags. When you started talking about low 30s for a really good miles per gallon, that last one I think I got it up to mid 30s. If you would have been 50, it's 50 for a decent run. Whereas, as I say, this yesterday, going to work 47 miles to the gallon on a run, it'll do over 50. As you can see from my 6,000 miles of driving with crap like this, but averaging 34 miles an hour, it was still a decent miles per gallon. So yeah, if you're having one, if you want an older one, like really older one, yeah, the 2.7s. Newer one, I'd be buying the 3 litre. As I say, I do not like the 2.2 and I do not like the 2 litre. However, please put in the comments, I know lots of people do like, especially the 2.2. The 2.2 has got a really nice, good, positive following. I'm trying to get on the slip road here, and the guy by the side of me, instead of dropping back, he's just basically what a, oh, nearly swore them. So we shall let Mr. Disco out, who obviously has issues, say thank you to the guy from behind, and we shall move over into the next lane. And the reason why we're moving over to lane 2, if anyone's going to let me over, thank you Mr. Mini. The reason why we're moving over into lane 2 is to let all the traffic get on, and then we're now going to go over into lane 3 if someone's going to let me over. If you were letting me over, we'll say thank you anyway. So where were we? 2.2s. So yeah, put in your comments what you think of your 2.2 facelifts, what you think about facelifts. Obviously I know there'll be lots of XF owners. Price, next thing to discuss. The bottom has fell out of the market for these, you know what I mean, really fell out of the market. You can pick them up cheap and cheerful, and I mean cheap and cheerful. I will say buyer beware, especially if you are buying private. A high mileage private one of these, oh yeah, you've got a lot more bottle than I have. A friend of mine at work has just bought an XJ. A couple of doors are opening, which is door actuators, minimal history. Tell you what, in a hole it doesn't actually look that bad, but you never know what you're buying into, you know, why they're selling it. Usual with diesel, EGR, DPF. Talking about DPF, don't know how long my ownership is, but I have no DPF problems. I think I've had no DPF problems because this spends a decent lump of time on the motorway. However, as you've just seen, my average is only 34, so it can't be that much on the motorway. But yeah, I think with a half decent run, at least once a month, you are not going to be having DPF problems. If you aren't going on the motorway and you are tootling these around town, I would not be buying anything with this a diesel. I would be buying a petrol. Not worth the buying. I must admit, diesel cars, we've never had problems with DPFs, but I think the wife works far enough away and I work far enough away that the cars that have enough time on the motorway, you don't really have DPF problems. Stuff that's tootled round town, get a petrol. Don't even think about a diesel. Not worth the money. So prices. So I don't know if it's in connection with backlash from COVID, because I know second-hand car prices are strong. Prestigious cars in general, prices seem to have gone down a bit. Obviously Range Rovers, but I think that's due to the insurance. So whether it is Jaguar in general or a lot of them, prices have gone down, but Jaguar in particular, especially the XF, over the last 12 months, the prices have really bottomed. So I'm assuming some of you may be watching this video because you're seeing a little bargain out there. I'm thinking, is it worth me taking a punt? So I think if it's cheap enough, I'd take a punt, but if you are talking about a good few £1,000s and it's private and high mileage, I won't be bothering. I think there's enough out there in the dealerships where if you can get something with a warranty, then it's a decent garage, and a warranty's a warranty, isn't it? So I think that's the route I'd be going down. What did I have done? So I bought this. Oh, there you go, there's an interesting story for you. So I bought this it wasn't very well at the time, so I shouldn't have really bought it. So we did go out. The wife was literally like, you have to leave the house. So I think we went to, as normal people do when you are poorly, you go to the garden centre for a brew. So I go to the garden centre for a brew, the next town over, and I actually went on the motorway, went to go back onto the motorway. So you have to get up to motorway speed, don't you? So this, the 3 litre diesel at 3,000 revs is when the second turbo kicks in. So I'd not had it over 3,000 revs. So, but I'm getting on the motorway, so I did go over 3,000 revs. The second turbo kicks in, restricted performance, engine management light on, the whole thing through a big wobbly. Very common. And why is it common? Because people don't go over 3,000 revs, they don't get the second turbo in, and it can be faults with the turbos. A lot of them that I've since found that people don't realise is it's the actual air pipe. The air pipe blocks due to lack of use, not getting it over 3,000. So all that was diagnosed and found out, obviously under warranty. So I didn't have to do anything. So recommend a warranty. What else have I had? A strange one. So I won't give any indication of the garage that I bought it from. But let's just say if you watch YouTube, you'll know whom. But I'm not saying any more than that. So when I bought it, really strange one, the indicator noise wasn't working. So before I went to test drive, the guy says, look, the indicator noise isn't working, don't worry about it, when you pick it up we'll sort it, don't worry. It's like, right, okay, didn't think anything of it. So when I picked the car up, the indicator noise is still not working. So I then found out afterwards, obviously you have lots of your sounds which are to do with the infotainment system and go through obviously your electrical stuff in the middle. Some of your basic car sounds, like you've not put your seatbelt on, you've left your door open, bong 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 from your indicators. It is a little speaker on the back of the instrument cluster, and unbeknownst to me, they fail. So if you go for a car and the indicators are not working, it is the speaker on the back of the instrument cluster. Obviously you don't want to change the instrument cluster because the mileage stays with the instrument cluster. Reprogramming, I know a few people that I've read, I don't know them, sorry that's a lie, I've read quite a few people on the forums on Facebook, they've changed instrument clusters and it's not ended well. Place in Bradford, something Tektronix, something like that, 240 quid, take it to them, take the cluster out, place the speaker, put it back. So again, to be fair to the guy though, but let's just say I had to be slightly, well the father-in-law, I wasn't fit to do it, had to be slightly forceful to get this done that had been promised. What else was there apart from that? I think that was it. So even though I think I dropped lucky with a good car, there was still something, and there is always something with a second-hand car. But I think without the warranty, you know, if you're prepared that you're buying it cheap and cheerful enough that you want to do it yourself, or you've got enough money left over from buying something else that you've got money in the kitty, then you go for it. But as I say, at the moment there's stuff out there where obviously second-hand cars, I think there's more percentages that are wrong with second-hand cars than right. Have you ever bought a second-hand car and there'd be nothing wrong with it? Once, a Kia. Everything else, no, there was always something it had to go back with. So yeah, just be careful. You know, there's a massive carrot at the moment because they're so cheap at the minute. What, £2 you can pick an XF up for? High mileage XF, £2. You know, who's not going to have a sniff of that? I was thinking of other stuff I can tell you. So the vents, you know, the posh vents with all like at the start. The little gearing system brakes on them. Because these cars have been out for a while now. eBay, little thing on the motor, fixes. General help, and this is interesting. when I had the third XJ, the Jaguar Enthusiast Club, JEC, really nice. They used to have something old school that was like a forum, so not Facebook. I think this is in the infancy of social media, so not Facebook, but it was a forum linked to the club. And I'll tell you what, on there everyone was so polite, so helpful, so courteous. I had the blowers stopped working and a guy literally sent me the link off eBay. This is on the XJ. Sent me the link off eBay, 20 quid, told me how to fix it. The guy on the forum basically fixed my car without physically doing it. Unbelievable. So when I went on the Facebook ones, equivalent to the old JC forums, are people nice? Oof. Some people are very nice. There's a lot that are not. They're so catty, and there's almost like some people are on there to not be nice. I'd be on one of those groups to help, or to, yeah, very strange. I'm in quite a few Jaguar Facebook groups, and yeah, there's one that I like where it seems to be better than the rest, which funny enough is just for pre-facelift. It's the Jaguar pre-facelift group, and they seem to be yeah, there's just a lot of the less cattiness and less backlash. You've seen the traffic. Right, I was hoping this might be a nice video, but I know we've been chatting away and you're actually helping me this morning more than I'm helping you. Got loads of stuff on my mind, and I'm off to an appointment somewhere, trying to take my mind off it. So you're actually helping me this morning. Right, so in summary, if you want, let me move over this nice motorbike. Move over for the nice motorbike. He could have said thank you when he did it. Well, that's okay. So in summary, should you buy an XF or an XJ? Yeah, you know, go for your life. Buyer beware if you're buying private. Buyer beware without a warranty. You've got a range of garages, same as most cars, from Backstreet Billy down to the dealership, also known as the Stealership. I quite like our local dealership, they've been quite nice to me. But I think the labour rate's £190 an hour, so if you can afford £190 an hour, oof, £190 an hour. I think my local Backstreet garage, who's a really nice guy, is £40 an hour. And there's loads in between. I've been to a specialist recently, due to my general health at the moment. I wanted to pay a bit more and go to a specialist just to get a hassle-free MOT and service, and it bit me on the bum because let's just say some studs were broken. There's an issue with wheel nuts that I'm aware of. It's a Ford thing as well. The nuts are not a solid nut, they're in two separate parts. So after a while, if they've been over tightened, people try and take them off, and the nuts, half the nut comes off, half doesn't. Issues with that. I wasn't aware of anything issues with the actual studs themselves. So yeah, so make sure you've got somewhere that can look after it. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. If you've had Jags before, obviously technically wise, everyone's getting more technical than the rest of it, and something goes wrong now, what do people want to do? Read the codes. Oh, the traffic's clearing now. Do you want to stay on with me, or is this video getting a bit long? That matrix is flashing 40. Staying at 40. Just about to go past the entrance to the M56, and then all this traffic's going to clear. I was going to summarise and say goodbye to you, but if you don't mind, I'm going to keep talking. let's keep talking about Jaguars, as the traffic is now clearing. So yeah, if you want one, go for it. God bless you, good luck to you. Please be careful. If you're buying cheap and cheerful, you're buying high mileage, there's gonna be something. There really, really is going to be something. So you need to be prepared for, I think the bits for these now are not that bad. There's so many out there now in bits and pieces that I think you can pick up bits are not too bad, but you're either doing it yourself or you need to find someone who can do it for you. Right, we can now go from 40 to motorway speeds because we're just about to go through the end. Are you ready? Drop in sports mode, engage in dynamic, 40, 70. There you go. Just got to show you a little bit of what the XF can do. Legally, I'd like to add, I've just went from 40 to 70. I'll tell you what, so I keep flipping about, but it's that stuff's coming into my head. So, half the reason why you would buy a Jag in the first place with a big, decent lump in it. So this, there's quite a few bits of my journey where they're 50. So at 50, trying to get back up to motorway speeds in this, it's effortless. Even if you don't push on, it's not even going to change gear on you. It's going to stay in the same gear. Now in the Audi, if you pushed hard enough, it's going to drop 6 to 4th. In this, you're getting the same pull and it's dropping 6 to 5th. The twin turbo, there's plenty of torque, and I mean a lot of torque. The 241's 400 Newton meters. I think the 275, obviously this is brake horsepower, is 600 Newton meters of torque. So yeah, there's plenty of nice low down and top end diesel grunt, and it's not costing you a fortune in fuel. So yeah, I'm all into big lump diesels. Slow incident, slow down. Luckily we're getting off. So yeah, back to my summary. If you want one, go out and get one. Please be careful. Buy with your head, don't buy with your heart. But to be fair, if we bought a car with our head, we'd all be driving a Kia. So you have to like or love the car a little bit, or else you won't be buying it. So just be careful. You can tell if something's been not well looked after by the history. If something's been looked after, the history's going to be great. If something's not been looked after, the history's shoddy, or there's no history at all. And high mileage, as I say, this is just my opinion, but I think these are built to fail, the 3-litre diesel, because of the plastic inlet manifolds. They crack. And why do they all suddenly crack at 100,000? This is, it is over a decade old. It's only done 40,000 miles. Touch wood, no problems with those inlet manifolds, so it certainly isn't age related. 100,000 miles, that's when people are saying it seems to be just over. So I think, nothing against car manufacturers, but some stuff is in there, they are built to fail. So if you're getting a high mileage one, go get a high mileage one when the manifold's done. Some of the new manifolds, they're doing aluminium manifolds, they're doing various weird and wonderful. I believe the later manifolds, they did get a bit better. I think they were still plastic, but a higher grade of plastic. So, are you letting me in? He's letting me in. Flash of the hazard to say thank you. Maserati's nice, isn't it? That's very nice. So yeah, just be careful. Doors not opening, doors not locking, door actuators, really common. There's loads of little common bits, some of them are not that bad. I had a parking sensor done at a specialist, couldn't be mithered. Remember on old parking sensors you could hear the clicking, so you could tell which one wasn't working? No, don't work like that anymore. There is no click, so you can only tell by plugging it in. I've got a cheap and cheerful code reader, which is through the Torque app, so any big faults that register on the ECU, you know straight away. But stuff like sensors and all the rest of it, you're going to need a decent code reader. To need a decent code reader, you half need to know what you're doing. So I couldn't be bothered. I think it was 80 quid for the sensor, genuine new sensor, 100 quid fitted, 180 quid at a Jaguar specialist. So it's not bad that. I'd like to tell you how much I paid to get my wife's sensor replaced on the Kia. Let's just say it was more than that. Normally the Kias are quite good. Are you coming over? You are coming over. Are you going to say thank you? You're welcome. Say good driving. Good driving. So yeah, so there's my summary of a Jag owner for over decades and an XF owner for over 12 months. If you'd like to know where we are, you've probably seen the signs. We are now on one of the main drags into Manchester city centre, and it is 9:35 in the morning. I've got an appointment at 10:30. I never say appointment, but I don't really want to go into it, which is why I'm doing this. And I think today is one of the first days that the children have gone back to school. So yeah, the traffic could be a lot worse. We've not exactly stopped for long, have we? And there's lots of speed cameras. So, you know what? I think I'm going to shut up. I'd like to say, for anyone that's still watching, thank you for listening to me. I'd also like to say this video this morning has been a lot more for me to take my mind off what I'm doing and what I've got going on, rather than being a nice informative dude on Jaguars. But you know what, if you want a Jag, you go for it. Best of luck for you, but please be careful. There's nothing worse than having the excitement and the love and the thrill of, you know, buying a new car and then suddenly within a week stroke immediately you have problems. What's going on here? Is lane 1 shut? Lane 1 shut. Bloody hell. Look at this. 3's going into 2. What are you doing? Thank you. You're welcome. What is wrong with people and courtesy in driving? Okay. I know everyone's in a rush, but you know, get a grip. Get a grip driving. Seriously. Nobody's dying that you're en route to. If they are, obviously I'll give you, you know, give you my blessing in your driving, but if no one's dying, you know, get a grip. Look at this. So Hyundai down there, straight over, booted it down. Do you know what the speed limit is down here? 30. 30. So, right, we're getting into people's driving now. Let's not do that. Right, honestly, if anybody's still with me, I really appreciate it. I'll do some more stuff on the XF. I'm going to do a load more stuff on the Rover. I'm going to do a lot more stuff on the Stag. Majority Stag. So yeah, take care of yourselves. If you're still watching, I appreciate it, and look after yourselves. You take care. Thanks again.